Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
The art of magic is mystery, majesty, pageantry, and craft. It's also about history, marketing, networking, and more. All of these topics and others are discussed on Magic Talk with your hosts, renowned magician James Lantiegne and owner of the White Rabbit Magic Shop, Joshua Lantiegne. Now on Rough Edge FM.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Magic Talk. I am your renowned host, and Josh, just remember you are just the owner of the White Rabbit Magic Shop.
So
hey, what
renowned host or renowned magician?
I'm the renowned. Well, I'm both.
I mean, he didn't give you credit for the renowned host thing, so we're gonna have to go and knock you down a couple of pegs.
That is true. He did not put that in there.
That's the renowned magician. I'm sorry, and you're talking on Magic Talk. So I guess that means something.
I can't get this whole concept of going backwards, but I am sporting the logo. Where's your shirt?
That's a very good employee.
Yeah, I know. Oh, so as the owner, you don't have to adhere to the dress code.
Well, no, isn't that how it works?
I guess. So
did you do that when you were the owner of some of the companies that you worked for? Well, I mean, you were the CFO, but
yeah, I just
suppose as the master of the money, I suppose you can go and say, "Hey, I kind of own this place," right?
That's right. And I just never showed up. So, hey, guess what?
What?
I am hitting record on Spreaker, so we are actually recording our broadcast as well as being live on Facebook. So for all the people on Facebook and YouTube, welcome. And everybody who is listening on our podcast, you are actually listening to the live broadcast because I hit record.
Wow. Good for you.
See, I'll just
really
one mistake.
Job.
One mistake,
So
and I
proud of you.
I know. Kudos to me. Hey, so this is really exciting. Last week we had a magician's assistant on.
Yes.
And that was a great show. This week we have something really kind of incredible. All right. So we all know the traditional magician, everybody, it's like, okay, I've seen that trick. I've seen that trick. I've seen that trick. Well, with this guy, you have not seen any of those tricks unless you've seen them from him.
Oh, so completely original.
Completely original. So I'm really excited about this because I want to learn how this whole concept even came about, because it is incredibly unique. And when you hear his name, you will understand why. So I am going to bring to the stage Mario, the Maker Magician.
Hello,
Mario.
hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, Jim and Josh. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Hey, it's great to have you. So I just rearranged the pictures here because we weren't getting the full background.
That's a wonderful poster.
And that
my bad.
This is my Chomper bot and my Rabbit robot. Yeah. So there's some of the robots that are in my performance in my show.
Yeah, and that explains everything about his show.
There's those who doesn't like to do magic with robots. Look at that.
Here's one of the prototypes. You see the guy all falling off. No, so this is
lost his eye.
So, he's a little Frankenstein-y, but I think he'll look fantastic when he's done.
Well, you could see, the passions that I love are in my aesthetics. I love the Garbage Pail Kids. I love Ed Roth, Big Daddy, Rat Fink. I love pop punk. All that stuff kind of smashed together. And then try to build magic around, whatever passions that have nothing to do with magic, how to mix them into something that, makes sense and gets people reacting, All
right. So now you told me that you've been doing this for 15 years full time.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible, because for anyone to say that they're doing magic full time is amazing.
Yeah.
hard to
And
do.
but where did I get the sense that you're an engineer, or that you were at one time an engineer? Is that
Yeah,
true?
I mean, I love, yeah, I just love making crap. I think it comes from my dad. My dad, came to this country from Italy in the 70s. I'm first generation American, like hard, stone mason, building houses from the ground up, like watching that as a kid. My dad literally built the second floor of the house we were living in while we were living in it, so like, people like that were in my life definitely inspired me to keep my hands busy, to keep building and making things and exploring. But yeah, and I love art, I just love, I love making things, and I love creating things with different mediums, and so
how did the robots come about?
yeah, so I loved puppeteering. I could dive into this in so many different directions, but yeah, from wood carving, I loved wood carving and puppeteering and marionettes, the strings and how the strings make different things move. And when I first got into magic, you guys know how it is. It's a bug, you get bit and you spend all your money, and so like for me was, magicians like Robert Houdin, like these magicians that had mechanical contraptions that they can walk away from, and it does something without them touching it. That blew my mind early on, and that was kind of the first thing that kind of intrigued me, was how do I create this mechanical puppetry and get really good at it, and from there I got into microcontrollers, and then that was history. Once I got into the Arduino and the microcontroller, I got into robotics.
So we have escape rooms in our magic store as well.
What's that?
We have escape rooms in our magic store as
Oh,
well.
nice.
And when you talk about Arduinos and the microchips and everything,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, we build our own escape props.
Oh,
And
wow.
he does all the Arduino kind of coding and programming and all that good stuff for our props. So I've gotten to learn a lot about that stuff.
Oh, the escape rooms are great. That's awesome.
So, it's funny when you were talking about magicians and not making money or spending all your money on the craft and everything. The worst thing you can be is a practicing magician and owning a magic shop. Buy everything and then you take it, and it never gets sold because you took it. So yeah,
or you be a magician that dedicates their lives to doing children's magic. If you want to make $1 million, right? I mean, you make no money doing that. So
Hey, I know you live in a neighborhood with a lot of kids. That's
nice.
A lot of birthday parties. You're the only magician around.
Speaking of birthday parties, Josh, we just booked a birthday party for our escape room, and we're doing a magic show afterwards.
Oh, I know you really like to perform for birthday parties, Dad.
I do. Yeah. So Mario, here's the deal: when we do birthdays, they have to come to us. We don't go to the home. They come to our shop where we have a small stage.
Yeah.
And so they can do the escapes if they want, and then they come down and we do the magic show. And are we doing our plug now for Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew?
Oh, Mountain Dew all the way. Only.
Wait a minute, what are you drinking?
Yeah, hold on.
No, but that's nice. Having them come to you. Come on, what a difference than you having to lug all your stuff in the mud at some farmer's market. Like they come to you, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
And I put walls around them so they
You
can't
put walls around them.
can't run all over the place. But so when did you first discover the bug?
So I did a lot of stupid things when I was younger. I left when I was like 17. I hitchhiked cross country. I street performed. I let go of all my friendships at my hometown. And long story short, I met crazy kids that traveled, and I did it for 2 years. And next thing you know, I opened a door up in this shop. I'm in the middle of Michigan. I'm from New York. And I opened up accidentally. I thought it was an antique shop. No, it was a brick and mortar magic shop in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I opened that door, and I'm not lying. My favorite scene from my favorite movie was playing on some big old VHS tape TV in the back, and it freaked me out. And I bought my first magic trick, intended to give to my younger brother to mail to him, and I ended up keeping it for myself, and the rest was history.
See,
And what was
you
that
get
first
your magic, and then you go and keep it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So what was that first magic trick?
Oh, it was probably scotch and soda, or like, I think that's probably something like that. It was one of those simple, it wasn't super expensive. It was like, around $30. I remember. I bought it, and then I'm like playing with it, and I was like, I'm not mailing this out. Like, this is dope. Like it's mechanical. It's like, and then what happened was, the person I was traveling with, we stopped traveling. We ended up living an hour from this magic shop. And I just started going there and sitting on a stool and watching magicians walk in and just showing off. And it blew my mind watching people that were really good. Like, when you see magic really good, right? You're like, damn, that's why it exists, and from there, I joined the magic club that was there, and I lived there for 2 years, and that was it. It was crazy.
Very cool. Yeah, it's funny because we get a lot of magicians in that are doing stuff as well. And like 90% of them, the story is, I got a magic kit for Christmas.
Right.
Which happens to be my story. So,
right.
But I went to go see, one of the first magicians I ever saw was Harry Blackstone Jr.
Oh, wow.
And it was at that moment that I realized that I wanted to be a professional magician, that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, we had a magic shop where we lived, and the owner of the magic shop was the one who created Gibson close-up pads.
Oh, wow.
It was the very first close-up pad that existed on the market. Well, he used to collect the bunnies for Harry Blackstone Sr.
Oh, my goodness.
And so he knew Junior, and he got us backstage. And so I got to meet Harry Blackstone, and he comes up to me and he says, "So what was your favorite part of the show?" And I said, that card trick that you did in front of the curtain where you threw out this invisible deck, and then they picked a card and they turned it around, and then you caught it and the deck appeared and it was the only card turned over? And he said, "Yeah." I said, "That was amazing." And he went, wait, I made an elephant disappear on stage. I shot a woman out of a cannon. And you like the card trick? I'm like, yeah.
It's just simple stuff. Always simple stuff that catches you.
Yeah. That card trick blew my the elephant, okay, it's an elephant. What could you do with it? But the card trick was like, whoa.
Love it.
And I do that trick every show. In fact, that is the one magic trick. If you come into our magic store and you are not a real magician who believes in the ethics and stuff about secrecy and whatnot, we won't sell you the invisible deck. So that is one deck that we will not sell. So we'll give them a Svengali, we'll give them a super deck, but unless they are a practicing magician, they cannot buy an invisible deck from our store.
You know what? There's something Al Flasso about that, and I love it. I mean, that's part of the game. It's like, I respect that. I think that's, that's what I read a book about Al Flasso's life. There's something special about Al Flasso to me because he's like New York City, Northeast up here. And I just love the stories about how picky he was with the shop. When he would sell things, it would be based on the character of the person. He'd upsell things, and then he would practically give away stuff if he saw like just true heart in someone that was just really wanting to learn, And I see that with you guys. I like that idea. This is what happens when you're in control. It's your store. I freaking love it.
Yeah. Well, Josh is the father. I'm the son.
Well, he's just the irresponsible one. And I happen to be the one that grew some responsibility. It's probably my mother's fault, but
yeah, it's got to be on the mother's side because he's forever going, "Dad, that product is $49.95. I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You just gave it to him for $25. That's like under our costs." And I'm like, "Well, okay, but they couldn't afford it." And He's like, Dad, we got to stay in business.
We can afford it.
Oh man, well, he's the brains, okay, and you're the heart, okay, and that's like me and Katie. It's the same exact way. I would never be surviving this full time if it wasn't for my wife Katie, who puts her foot down and is like, no, you cannot do this show for this amount, or like, it's just. And I was watching a documentary about Nikola Tesla and how he died alone, and how there was all these failures along the way, because we're not meant to just be good at everything, like we literally are meant to get really good at a specific thing. And then when you have a team of people, so you guys are a good team. I mean, that's what's up. I think that's what it takes. And I want to come to the shop. When are you going to invite me? I want to come.
Well, come on down.
Anytime.
Where are you now?
We're like about 40 minutes north of Manhattan, right in New York State. And we will be touring into California, possibly in February. So hopefully
hook up with us then when you know your schedule, because we do monthly shows here, and I would love to have you.
Yeah, I would love to jam and even just share a cup of coffee. I think that would be great. I love it.
So we're originally from New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
I have a sister that used to live in Battery Park City. She moved after 9/11 because her building was essentially destroyed.
Oh, wow.
But she now lives in Warwick.
Oh, that's not that far from me. I live in Nyack, so right across the bridge. And Warwick, I have family in Warwick. There's a drive-in theater in Warwick. I drive my Volkswagen bus out there with the kids. Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah.
If you ever see a Lantiegne over there, it's one of us.
Yeah.
What's that?
If you ever see a Lantiegne over there, it's one of us.
Yeah, we don't exist other than what we've created. What we've procreated.
Weird way to put it.
I love it.
Very weird way to put that.
So Mario, you've been doing virtual shows.
Yes, a lot of virtual.
Now, have you ever done a virtual prior to COVID, or was that all introduced as a result of COVID?
No, I just did TV appearances, like short clips, 2.5-minute clips. We were on a 3.5 month tour. We just got home in March. I'll never forget. I count every month. It's been 18 months. So it was scary, like talk about doing something full time and having 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. We road school. We don't even go to normal school. We road school. So that's how much traveling is part of our lives. So to have that taken, I'm looking at Josh too with the shop. I know it was devastating for you too. Like all of a sudden closing your doors and doing everything online. But the silver lining was, I feel like we gained a greater fan base because of the pandemic, because we switched completely to virtual. I was lucky. I got picked up by 2 brands to be brand ambassadors once a week doing virtual stuff. That helped me force us to develop a show. I don't know. It's a tricky thing because I did my first in-person show 2 weeks ago. It was great. And then now all the schools that I work with and theaters are super hesitant for the fall. So we're on a limbo. I'm doing a Zoom show next week, the public, and the stuff that I was supposed to do in person, we're switching over to virtual. It looks like for early October and late September. So I'm sure it's affected you guys too,
Yeah, we've had a similar thing because, California is a lot like New York when it comes to the outbreak. And so even though all the restrictions have been listed, with the exception of the mask, everybody is still like there's we've developed our own production company now. So we actually help businesses and entertainers do virtual shows because we produce full feature films.
Oh, wow.
And so we now help people with their virtual because everybody has no alternative, and we got the great equipment. So
yeah, you got the experience. Yeah.
And but we had a theater group that just called us. They've been rehearsing. They've been all set to go to do a live performance, and their board said, "Yeah, we're not going to go live. We're gonna record it and do it virtual."
It's a real shame.
And when was that supposed to happen? Was it supposed to happen this month or
next month?
Wow, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They've been rehearsing the last, I think, 4 or 5 months, and now it just got canceled. And so the whole cast is sitting there going, great, we've invested all this time, all this work. And so we're going to come in and we're actually going to do a 5-camera shoot over 2 or 3 days. And did you see the hairspray that they did at the movie studios on New Year's, one of the New Year's? They actually did a live theater production at one of the movies theaters. It was with John Travolta playing Hairspray.
Oh, okay.
And they ended up doing it live. And
wow.
So they want to do something similar to that, except it's gonna be solely streamed, but they want to do this kind of live experience, even though it's pre-recorded. So. Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of dig it. I feel like there's going to be a hybrid in the future. I feel like, that's opened all these new doors. I can understand that. Even from me coming from the children's world, I know there's like Paw Patrol is touring and they're doing like in person, but with the virtual at the same time. So you can buy a virtual ticket up close and be part of the fun, even though they're at a theater. So I definitely feel that. I mean, I don't know. I'm supposed to be in Kentucky in October. That's not canceled yet. So Kentucky seems like they're hanging out. I don't know. So we'll see what happens.
I think the Midwest is kind of cool about things like that, or the middle of the country is kind of cool about, going back to living. It's our extremes that are the people on the coast.
Yeah.
Everybody in the middle of the country is normal.
That's right. That's right.
So I lived in Kentucky as well.
Oh, nice.
Fort Thomas, Kentucky.
Wow. I've only been to Louisville and New Albany. I mean, they were a really great area. I don't know. I had a good time there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing virtual shows along with our live performances. We're doing a close-up show called Spellbound.
Nice.
And we have cameras set up so people can watch virtually as well. Most of my family's back east as well as Joshua's because they're the same family.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So, so you're doing magic that it's not your typical prop. It's not like a square and circle or the linking rings or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's all stuff that you made, right?
Yeah, it's all stuff I made. Actually, I could pop a video if you want to see an example, a little 30-second clip.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if I can do it.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So that's all cardboard and tinfoil. And there's about 12 servo motors. My big goal during the pandemic was to make a magician that's a robot that does the whole routine without me touching it. That was the big challenge. And that robot's way more famous than I'll ever be. That's like the one viral thing that I've ever made, is this Automabot robot. So there's a couple routines that he does. I have a couple other ones. He does a coin matrix and some other stuff. So what my goal really is just like how to make this accessible to everyone, like the technology and my love for magic,
And so, that robot, that was all completely self-contained. You like no interaction with it at all.
No interaction. All I can say is like I'm behind the scenes, like trying to sync like multiple circuits, all at the same time with me holding the cell phone. Because people were saying it's video edits because I had it on a stand, the cell phone. So instead, now if you notice, I'm moving a little bit on purpose because there's no video edits. It's me doing a take that took 140 times, like all day. It's all synced. It's all synced with the Arduino, and the servo movements. Yeah.
That was really cool.
So what are your plans when the robot takes over and he doesn't need
I mean, honestly, my dream in my lifetime is I hope that I'll be alive to see FISM having a robot competition where it's like robots performing magic and seeing how fooled you can get. I mean, that's my life's goal, is to get to a point where it's like that. You know, that's what I'm hoping.
I mean, the robot you got, that was pretty fooling as it was.
It's not bad, right? I mean, that silver ball vanishing and coming back, it's not a servo motor. It's a different kind of motor that does that, but it's real, like, and it took forever, and I don't think I could do it again. Like, it was so finicky. Like, it was just that one perfect take. And you guys know that with you doing video work, you know how that goes, you know?
Yeah, it's like when you see on these takes where somebody throws a basketball from 100 yards away and sinks it in, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, that's incredible!" It's like, no, it's not. That was 1,000 takes.
Exactly.
1,000 times to throw that ball before he actually got it in. So.
I'll show you my latest robot if you want to see. It's not a routine; it's just the chaos of it. Here, I'll show you real quick. Oh, wait, that's not it. Sorry. One second.
It looks pretty
good.
No,
that's not it either. Jeez, this is what happens. No. Ah! All right. We'll just show this. This is just a coin matrix. 4 quarters.
Very cool.
So as magicians, you can appreciate it. As magicians, you guys appreciate it deeper than like a layman, because you know all the subtleties that go into those tricks, into that routine.
I'm doing a coin matrix this Friday, and I'm thinking, wow, maybe we should have the robot do it.
So I was inspired by Will Tsai, America's Got Talent. He did a matrix routine that turned to like rose petals, and that's where it started. And I took a rabbit hole with that, and I was like, wow, if I can do that with Automabot, that would be really cool. So anyway, these kind of videos, those 2 videos saved me during the pandemic. That I got TV work from that, where those 2 videos were on television in Japan. And I got like a good little check for that. So like the work wasn't not rewarded, even though I didn't get paid physically for making the videos. There was a fruit of my labor after a week or so that it was up, So it's important to think about that kind of stuff when you're making content, that the stuff happens,
Now I noticed that you guys consult.
Yes.
So you help other performers develop their show, or?
Yeah, so all my loves for robotics, there's a lot of performers that want to add a little bit of something mechanical in their show, So instead of me just taking an order and building it for them, I go the other route. Like, if you're willing to take the risk with me and hop on Zoom for a couple hours, I'll tell you the parts list of what to buy, and we'll build it together over Zoom so you can fix it if it breaks. Because I am a king of prototyping, but I'm terrible at a finished product. So like, in that sense, we build it together, and it's been really cool. There's a couple key magicians that have called out, and we've built stuff, and it's not something that they brag online. It's like they have it in their show, and that's that, and it's so. And then Katie, my wife, she's amazing with all the branding. That's how we are able to succeed online, and so she helps performers develop their website where it's so they can get work as easy as possible, little subtleties and stuff like that. Yeah.
Very cool. So Josh, you were going to say something.
What?
You were going to say something. And I interrupted you.
Yeah, now I forgot. Thanks.
Yeah. Josh, what is that behind you? All those signatures. What is that? Oh,
by the way, that is a drum face that has the signatures of all these famous musicians from classic rock bands.
No way.
70s and was it 70s and 60s, or is it just the 70s?
The 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So we had a large 20,000 square foot facility that we started. You know how that people say don't go shopping on an empty stomach?
Right.
Well, don't go out and decide that you're going to start a business after selling one.
Oh
That's a
man.
bad idea.
So we rented a 20,000 square foot facility that we were going to design on the interior a Norman Rockwell village for the arts. So
Wow.
there would be a center courtyard, there'd be a school, a schoolhouse, a bed and breakfast, a town hall, and they would all be classrooms. But people could come in and they could walk through the courtyard and all this kind of stuff, and they could they could take a music class, they could take a dance class, they could take a magic class, whatever. And so the House of Magic stood for Multi-Arts Gallery and Instructional Center.
Wow.
And so we developed this thing, and it completely imploded.
Oh no.
Lost everything I made from selling another business. But as a result, there was a rock band called World Classic Rockers that was made up of the drummer from Journey, the singer from Boston,
Oh wow.
somebody from Santana, from Steppenwolf.
It was started by the guy from Steppenwolf. Actually.
Right.
Nick St. Nicholas had started it.
Yeah.
And,
So they needed a facility. Oh, was that his on top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So they
started-
needed a facility to practice, because what would happen is they would all come together for a gig,
Right.
and they would rehearse the day before, and then they would do the gig, and they would play each other's songs.
Nice.
Well, we had a 20,000 square foot facility that wasn't doing anything. So they all came in and rehearsed at our place. So my wife, myself, my kids, we all had a private concert from all these.
That's legendary. That is legendary. These names are legendary. That's insane.
This is the
And they
proof
signed-
that it
they
happened.
signed the drum. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
So,
amazing.
But
Wow.
yeah, so that's where my big investment went.
So wait, where's the magic? I thought the magic shop was part of that space. It's not.
No, so
This space, yes. The other space, kinda not really. The magic shop came up after that.
After that,
yeah,
right.
So we
When I bought it, that's when the magic shop started.
When
so
you
what
bought
happened was we closed down that facility because
Right.
we couldn't. I mean, we just couldn't sustain it anymore, and the city wasn't cooperating. And so the software company that we sold,
Uh-huh.
the partners of that business still own the unit that they were developing the software in. So they donated that unit to us because we were a nonprofit.
Ah.
And so now we pretty much just do magic, performing arts, comedy, that kind of stuff. We have a small stage. We have the magic shop. We have 2 escape rooms. We have the podcast room.
I mean, what else could you guys ask for? I mean, geez, that's amazing.
This is where we should have started. But, I work backwards.
You know what? It would have never happened if you didn't take that risk. I just read something about that. You want wealth, you got to take risks, and however it ends up,
Yeah.
I love it. Love it.
I tell people I was a millionaire for 40 days. That was it. That's all it took. And then
40 days. That's like a biblical thing. I love it. It's like,
yeah, it was. I went into the desert and I buried my money and I can't find it anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Well, you guys are a true family business. That's kind of what's up. I mean, I don't know with my kids. I don't know. Like they see me building crap all day, perform. I have a feeling they're going to end up being lawyers or doctors and playing golf, I'm going to still be riding my Volkswagen bus,
Yep. Hey, do you have time to hold on for 1 second?
Yes.
So we have a segment that we do. It's that happens to be Joshua's favorite segment. So yeah, I don't know if you've ever gone to an AA meeting, but playing card addicts, they also have their own meetings. So
PCA.
Joshua's going to introduce a deck, and then I have the trick of the week that I'm going to do. And so let me get that started, and I will be right back. Oh, Josh, see, I keep loading up trick of the week. So here you go.
There is an outbreak among us. it is limited to only a small portion of our population. They have a sickness. They have an addiction. They collect bicycle playing cards, which is bad for them, but great for us because we have almost 500 decks of playing cards to choose from. They'll go crazy in here. They'll spend every last penny This is their story. This is Playing Cards Anonymous here on Magic Talk.
All right, Mario. So, you know, I don't know if you've ever been to one of these meetings, but when he introduces his name, we have to say, hi, Josh, you know. So,
yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. All right. Ready, Josh?
Hi, I'm Josh, and I am a playing card addict.
Hi, Josh. Oh, that was a little delayed, but you know, hey, we weren't practiced. We did not rehearse. That was
Wi-Fi signals. I don't know, you know.
All right, Josh, take it away.
I have something to share. I brought it in today. It's a brand new deck, actually. It's called Trash and Burn. It's something that we just picked up from Murphy's. Actually, it's a deck of cards that was made to be a trash and burn deck. So a practice deck, a deck that you're able to go and just destroy and not care about it. It's not a deck that costs $20 that you're going to be heartbroken if you get even a speck of dust on it. It's a deck that costs $5 that you can feel like, hey, I can throw this thing away if I wanted to, and it will be a-okay. And the nice thing about this deck, I'm just opening it up, so everyone else gets to enjoy it with me. The
question is how does it feel?
That's the thing. They said that it's supposed to feel as good as any other deck. A regular bike, all that stuff is supposed to feel just as good as that. So you're not going to get a plastic piece of crap as a deck of cards to practice with. And well, actually, it's a little thick, but let's find out how many extra cards they have in here, because it might be a lot.
Share, please.
Oh,
Share.
it's right up. Yeah. Right up over here. Actually, what we got, you have your standard 52, which is about that thick, so a little thicker. You know, I think it came from makeplayingcards.com. It should tell you, actually, if it did. Yeah, I think it was makeplayingcards.com. So the stock on it is a little bit thicker, not as definitely not a crushed stock right here, but this is the back design that you're going to get as far as all the cards go. A little clumpy, but definitely workable. Actually, I can spread it. I wish I could go and show you guys, but I can spread this thing on the table, and it's actually really smooth.
What about a fan?
A fan? Well, let's see. So,
little
as
chunky.
I said, a little chunky, but I mean, it's just because of the thickness of each of the cards. It's definitely not a crushed stock, and it doesn't have a an air cushion finish on it.
You know what my first thought was, Josh, when you said that we could throw this deck away and destroy it, and you said it was $5. I can get a bicycle deck of playing cards for $2.95.
Well, way to go and destroy it.
Well, why do I want to destroy that deck?
Because it looks cool.
I got to destroy it just because they tell me it's a trash and destroy deck?
You don't have to. I mean, if you're any good, you're not going to. But
okay.
Terrible. Now, actually, a couple other things you get with it. You get your two jokers. They're not identical jokers. That's the only negative to it. You have two different jokers. Those look like the creators of said deck.
Hey, one's got a beard like you. Maybe we secretly made these decks.
Maybe. Wait, are you bald?
Oh, it's a nice toupee. So,
the other one that you get with the deck is a duplicate card, a duplicate 3 of diamonds, and then also a double back. Which
nice.
Duplicates and double backs are my favorite gaffs to work with.
You know what's interesting?
So with them.
when we first started working with playing cards and I saw the double back,
Yeah.
I used to think it was a misprint.
Really?
So, all right.
So actually, I know I really do like it, and I love the color. Everyone knows how much I love red, and this deck is almost entirely nothing but red. And as far as a oh, that's cute. The court cards, I got to share this one too. The court cards are all trash animals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
That looks like a raccoon. Here's your fox, your trash fox, your fire fox. That's a bear, your black bear. I think they have a trash panda in here somewhere.
I was going to say, where's the
trash
cat?
panda? Huh?
Where's the cat?
Let's find out. Oh, here's your trash panda.
Nice.
Oh,
And then, oh, where is the cat?
there are no cats.
No. Damn.
All right. Well,
No cats. But still, it's kind of cute. It's actually
all right.
they're all illustrated cards, which is another nice additive to the deck. It's not just a normal, stereotypical, somewhat boring type of playing card to just toss and throw away.
It drives me nuts when you get a really cool deck and then all of a sudden you spread through it and they're just normal faces. Come on, where's the creativity?
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
That's probably in the money.
I'm bored.
You're bored? Oh, ouch. My favorite segment. You're bored, you're fired. That's what you are.
I know you get your 6-month coin. Congratulations. So here we go.
Is it good? Should I buy it? Does it suck? Did I get ripped off? Is it more of a craft project than a magic trick? These questions and more answered now on the Magic Item of the Week here on Magic Talk.
All right, this is my turn. I always do this wrong, but this is called Infinity, and it is actually a watch where you can predict time. And I've been told that once these are sold out, they are sold out. So we have 3 of these in stock. Basically, what you do is you take the watch and you are able to have somebody call out anytime they want. And then you hand them the watch and that watch has that time. So Mario, you'll appreciate that because of, servos and all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
there's all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah. So it looks and feels just like a regular watch. Let me there we go. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it's pretty thin. It's just your standard watch, and so you can predict a time that somebody is going to call out. They give you some prediction envelopes if you want to do it as kind of a mental effect. Or you can do something where you say, hey, I was supposed to meet somebody at a certain time. What time was that? And then the spectator can call it out and you hand them the watch and it's that time.
Love it.
These are $250. And my understanding is, again, that once they're sold, they're sold. So we may not be able to get them again.
So get them while they're here.
Get them while they're hot. Yeah. There's another magic maker that made a watch similar to this. And one of the things that I did not like about it is that the back was 3D printed.
Oh.
And it would fall off.
Oh, that's not good.
So, yeah. And so you'd hand it out and they would pick up the watch and sometimes the back would just pop right off. This has a nice durable back. It's like the traditional back of a watch. So it looks very well made. And it's pretty cool. So
it looks beautiful. I
Yeah.
might have to get one. I love stuff like that where it's packed in like that. It's nice.
yeah,
You're already selling it.
there's only 3.
It's only 3. All right.
So that is my trick of the week. So Mario, do you change your show up often, or do you? Let me rephrase that question. you use a lot of these robots. You do a lot. So what is your show like? Is it a traditional kind of show or with things?
I mean, that's a great question. So basically, like I said, 15 years in. So, you start by doing the classics. I went to that magic club. I learned Whit Hayden's 4-ring routine. I learned the Hippity Hop Rabbits. I learned Eugene Berger's Sponge Ball routine, like all these classics that like are hard hitting for most any age range. And then eventually, you want to sing your own song. It's kind of like playing guitar, right? You guys know this. Like in order to write your own song, you have to cover the classics, So a couple of years of that and understanding the bridge, chorus, the verse, like understand why the jokes work with the routine, and especially something like Whit Hayden's 4-ring routine. Everything's built in. You could be a robot and saying the pattern and doing the trick. If you do the moves and say the words, you're gonna fly by and it's gonna have rhythm, So those things are great foundations for me, especially for children's magic, the Stratosphere, Hippity Hop Rabbits. There's foundational principles of magic in those routines, core principles. So the reason why I'm saying that is because from that, then I can build robots like this new guy who's going to be a Rubik's Cube solving robot on my stage show. So like what happens is I'm taking classics of magic, mixing sleight of hand with robotics. And just like you saw in the video, a lot of my robots look like they're about to fall apart. They're made from cardboard. But from that low expectation of the audience, that's where I get to squeeze and hide the modern technology behind the cardboard and stuff. So you'll see takes on classics in my show. The big dream for me is like that all my show is robots, So hopefully, I'm getting close. I'm like 80% in, where every routine feels really good and I have heart in it and the magic is strong, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be,
So how do you incorporate you and the robot? I mean, are you up on stage with them? I mean, or are you kind of off the side and the robot's doing the trick?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because if I just let the robot go, there's no emotion. The big thing is connection, So I'll give you an example. At the end of my show, the last routine I have is a robot monkey named Marcel. I wish I had a picture to show you. That traditional symbol monkey from the 60s, right? So I took the hands off of one of those and the feet, and then I 3D printed the rest, and what the routine is this robot monkey has one goal, just to put a sponge ball in a little can, and I talk to it and we do 3 minutes of theater, and he knocks the ball off, the can off. He says no to the audience while I'm thinking he's saying yes, all these classics. And at the end of the routine, the ball gets in the can. But what sells it is me just desperately trying to sell this robot that it's real, And so that's the fun part of all this is making a connection with a weird object, and making the audience fall in love with it. So and all that came from just me listening to the audience, like if I don't get the laugh, I go home, I go on my computer, reprogram the damn monkey to like shorter to get to the gag, and then we rock it. So it's a fun thing because it's more of an all ages show. I wouldn't say it's a show for kids. It used to be, but the goal is really to like communicate my love for making and all my punk rock passion, into the show, Yeah.
Very cool. So it's really you're kind of the guy you're doing the interaction, and you're really making everything happen. But the perception is everything's happening with that unit, and you're just trying to, get him to do what.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the sneaky part of it all is like, here, I'll show you something real quick. You want to see something here? I just built this. This is in my new book. It's called Robot Magic. It'll be out in October. So it's going to be 7 routines that are robotic that you can build at home. And it's all related to magic. So it's not just a robot project. So this is a little tiny Rubik's Cube that's unsolved. I'm going to put it inside this little tiny cardboard frog robot. See if you can see it in there. Do you see it in there? Okay. Yep. And then watch the robot frog. You can see him opening his mouth and closing it. There it is. And then if I snap like this, and then the cube is completely solved. You see that? Wow. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So the idea is like, how do I build this at home? using just 2 servo motors and an Arduino. So that'll be in my new book. It's called Robot Magic, and you can build it, and it's not expensive props. It's just 2 servos and an Arduino and some cardboard.
And how will people get a hold of this book?
So it should be everywhere. So it's called Robot Magic. It's printed through Make Magazine, the people responsible, Make.co, O'Reilly Printing. So it should be out. And that's just one of the routines. And then there's some fun comedy stuff in there too. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? Mixing robots with magic. It really is. It's like, how do I make?
I love that. I love the kind of like you pulled stuff out of the trash can kind of thing to make, it's not like this perfect, well-machined robot. You're looking at it going, how on earth is this going to do anything?
Yeah, exactly. Here's my little crawl robot. It's part of my Zoom show, like everything is, so yeah, and that's the beauty of learning a little bit of 3D design, a little bit of 3D printing, and a little bit of microcontrollers, because then you can make something that moves, that's completely custom. That's powerful. It's like learning how to add another tool, like a hammer or a screwdriver. So that's kind of the mission with the Robot Magic book, is like, hey, like, learn these little tools and then you can take off with it,
I kind of want to carry that in my store now.
The little cube robot?
Well, no, the book.
Oh, yeah. So I'll let you know. I'll email you when it's out, and you could pre-order it now. I didn't announce it yet, but if you go on Amazon and search Robot Magic, you can pre-order it. We're going to do a full announcement soon, but it's up there. If you just type in Robot Magic, you'll see it.
Very cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
The best way would be MarioTheMagician.com, or check out our Instagram. That's where we post the most, and it's just Mario the Magician on Instagram. We do a lot of posting there, and check out our tour. We're going to be gone all of January and February if everything works out with the world. And we should be going down south and heading over California, where I'm going to come hang out with you guys. Bring a couple Robot Magic books, maybe, hang out, But yeah, so check out the tour schedule, and see if we can cross paths.
Well, and let us know if you haven't filled up your schedule. Let us know, because we would love to promote a show of you doing it here.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
We're about an hour north of LA, so it's perfect, because if you do anything in LA, people from here aren't necessarily going to go down. And
nice.
In here, people from LA are certainly not going to drive up. So
well, they do sometimes.
Sometimes they go to Santa Barbara. They wave as they drive by. They don't actually stop here.
We have a good fan basis. Don't go and knock it down like that.
Anyways, Mario, thank you so much. It was great. You got an amazing energy. That is fantastic. And you're doing something that nobody else is doing, which is even better.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, I had a great time jamming with you guys. I definitely want to come chill at the shop. And thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know. And also on our Facebook page, if you got things that are coming up, virtual shows or whatever, share them to the White Rabbit Magic Shop page, and we'll make sure we help promote what you're doing.
Awesome.
So, all right, Josh, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Do you want to fill them in while I line up the commercial? Because we gotta do one more thing, Mario. This is like Joshua's thing. And believe me, if you don't do it, I mean, he actually gets teary-eyed.
I love that you're father and son. This makes me so happy. I hope when my son gets older that I get to jam like this. This is just too cool.
I have 4 boys, and Joshua is the only son that I would be able to do this with. So.
Well, yeah, the other 2, one of them's only 17 years old, and the other 2 are all the way on the other end of the country.
Yeah.
Wow. Are there any magicians? Or is Josh the only one?
I'm the only one.
Josh is the only one.
He's the only one. Man after his dad's own heart. I love it.
Yeah, and that took a while too.
Yeah.
So, all right, Josh, you fill them in while I get this set. Here we go.
Okay. So what's going to happen is we're going to have the commercial for the White Rabbit, and at the end of it, the producer is going to say, if you like magic or you want to learn magic, say it with us. When he says say it with us, it's going to be a little bit of a pause, but we're all going to say we believe in magic.
Okay.
And that's going to be the tail end of the show.
Okay.
And we're all going to say it though.
Yeah, and trust me, it's got he's emotional about this. So
what do we say? Because I don't want to mess this up. We believe in magic. Because if he's
we believe in magic.
All right, I can do this.
Okay.
Hey, do we even have to do this now? Because the whole listening audience knows what's going to happen.
Well, yeah. We're gonna do it because it's commitment. We
Okay.
had a whole show about commitment.
And everybody on Facebook who wants to do it with us, join in.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Abracadabra, hocus pocus, presto. Pick a card, any card. Some words are magic. They sparkle with the promise of something wonderful. But they're still just words until you add that something wonderful to the mix. And that's what you'll find at the White Rabbit Magic Shop in Santa Paula. Their inventory includes world-class tricks and illusions that are not only for sale, but that they will teach you to master. In addition, White Rabbit Magic Shop is world-renowned for its amazing collection of bicycle playing cards, with nearly 500 decks in stock. So, if you're serious about magic, then say it with us. At the White Rabbit Magic Shop, we believe in magic. White Rabbit Magic Shop, located at 15500 Telegraph Road, Suite B15 in Santa Paula. For more information, please call 805-850-3051 or check us out online at wr-magic.com.
Don't feel bad, Mario. We know when it's coming up, and we still can't say it in sync with each other. Anyways, yeah, I know. Thanks again, Mario. What's that, Josh?
It was a good college try.
Yeah, it was. So
you asked for.
So thanks again, Mario. It was great talking with you.
Thank you so much.
We are looking forward to you coming out to the West Coast to do your West Coast tour, and everybody check them out online. So the virtual shows, how do people sign up for the virtual?
Yeah, we have a virtual show, public one coming up next week. You can check it out at mariothemagician.com.
Perfect. All right. We will all see you next week. I hope you guys all enjoyed the show.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.